Now that we've baselined with the interface through the walkthrough, let's get into doing and using the video editor. Now ordinarily I would start off in baby steps and go into doing a basic trim, but I've just got to try out this content aware editing because it sounds so nice and it could be an enormous workload saver. So the engineer in me was going to wouldn't let me go any further without testing it anyway. So I'm looking at this dialog or window, and the first thing I notice, it's organized the data in there, or the parts of the streams, elements of the streams, into tracks. What I also like is that the track that it feels needs my attention, it highlights with the spanner and changes the color of the elements of that track into this sort of browny orangey color. Now when you go over the area, it can say fix all or fix the instance. So me personally, I don't like doing a fix all. I like to see how it works. So I'm going to see what it's like on what it judged should be the correct way of seeing this particular element or scene. So when I look at this bit and I think, well, we're talking about looking at the galaxy in space, it wants to brighten it up. So the impact of that may be good, may be bad, because sometimes it actually does it with too much brightness, and it can actually throw the whole image out. This one is not a problem. This is actually a transition from moving from the galaxy back. So what it's actually detected is in fact a transition. So if you did change it, it would look quite horrible. So the overall verdict I have of this feature is, yes, it is a good workload saver. It can highlight lots of things for you, but it may not work in your favor all the time, so you've got to hold your own judgment on that. So let's now do the baby steps and do the trim. So once you load the clip, the functions become available on the just above the timeline, and I've clicked the trim. Now this is the actual clip size. As you can see, that's the in point. Now the in point you can adjust, but that in point frame is shown here, which I quite like the way this has been organized, to be honest. And the out point, well, obviously that frame is going to be shown here. So if you move or adjust these, you can imagine therefore that the frame is going to change, and you move and adjust these or mark these using these two little icons. This is your control area to move things around apart from using the mouse, and that there is just telling you the duration of the film as is now and when you adjust it. So if I was to look at this and look at the workflow, I think it's very good. It's, well, more than just very good, it's easy to use, and moving things around was also very easy. So effectively I think the workflow for doing a trim is a doddle. I really do like it. Well done, Cyberlink. And it was easy to do. Let's move on to the next one. Now the next one is doing what I call enhancements. I want to improve the color, or spruce up the coloring of the Mass Effect scene. Now the scene in particular is the bit where my Shepard, Nelson Shepard, is walking along the Normandy, and he's going to join Joker in the cockpit, and you see Nihilus the Turian. Now this scene can be quite dark, and when this was done, I mean, Mass Effect was ahead of its time at the time, but when this was done, the technology to get that real richness in color but still keep it in the shadows was not there. So let's have a look, and what I found was you've got two options. Now the color director comes when you get the Ultra and the Ultimate suite. So if you don't have that and you just have PowerDirector, you just have the normal set of controls, which are these, and I found them to be a little bit dodgy. I mean, just the smallest smidgen of movement, and it can have a drastic change on the frame, which I didn't like. So I pulled in the color director and see if it was better. I will say that I'm not a fan of the way this moves from one application to another. I really don't like it. A, it can take quite a while, and B, why do you need another application? I can see that what they're trying to do, but why couldn't they have integrated it more tightly together? Anyway, I'm going to go through the process, and it is better to use the color director. It's still quite sensitive though, and I wasn't quite happy with that side of the aspect, but you've got far more tools at your disposal, and you've got lots more information which can help you judge how you want to do the enhancements to the clip. So on that side it's a plus. The negative side is I just do not like the fact that you have to leave the application that you've got to go into another one. I think it's a bad idea. I don't like it at all. Many good applications can do all this in the one application without changing the interface and the way, the look and the feel of that interface. That being said, Cyberlink did a pretty good job in making sure that it was easy to use. It's just time consuming to do the job and here do all your work and then go back to the editor. But it's up to the individual, I suppose. But you can get a result, as you've just seen there. You can liven up the video very nicely, and the tools are there. So that really completes that part of the test. So the color enhancements is done, though not as nice as I'd like it to be done. Basic trimming, brilliant. I'm now going to move on to special effects. Now special effects here is I want to do a picture-in-picture. So I picked the biometric scanner. Now what this little video does is it emulates as if it's scanning your fingerprints, and if it finds your fingerprints it then will move and show you a photograph. Now in the area where it says insert your photo, I want to put in a video. So I'm going to find where it starts to do that transition, and then I'm going to put the video. Now the video, of course, is the same size as the biometric scanner. I need to resize the overlay or this matrix style video. So once I'm happy with that, I can resize. Now this whole process is just a doddle. It's a dream come true. The whole workflow is simple. You can see everything in front of you, can stay focused on what you want to do, and the editor does the job. So here you feel like you're in charge, you're focusing on the product you want to produce, and the editor's doing the job for you, which is what you want. Can't ask for anything better. The whole process was a dream to behold, and some editors made this an absolute arduous task. So PowerDirector, thumbs up, great job, love it. So that really concludes all the work or the tests I want to do with the video editor. Judging this product was quite hard for me because initially when I used this product I was excited about it and it failed. Then when I got it to work, well, it failed the media process test, which is not a good thing, especially when you consider that technical support did not help in any way, shape or form, and it's targeted for the web, and that's where it failed. But on the other side, it's got this foxy interface and it's intuitive to use and it's got some nice ideas. And when you're editing, you feel like this conductor because the conductor just focuses on how the music sounds to the audience and lets musicians worry about the actual playing of instruments. That same analogy can be used for the editor. It's really good for that, and it's packed full of these nice innovations, but it fails its principal task in actually producing the final product that you want. I'm looking forward to testing PowerDirector 13 because it boasts the new H.265 standard, but I hope it's better than version 12.